Hi, my name is Eliza. Welcome to my channel. I talk about true crime and such. So today I'm going to be talking about Anjette Donovan Lyles. She is classified as a serial killer, but from my knowledge, she's not a very well-known serial killer. I'm going to be talking about her today. Anjette Donovan Lyles was born August 23rd, 1925 in Macon, Georgia. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that. I believe it's pronounced Macon, but I am not completely sure. Growing up, she was fairly popular because of her charismatic personality. She was well-liked amongst people. She was a very charming person. She could often manipulate people into getting what she wants because of her personality. This carried on into her adulthood. In 1947, she married a man named Ben Lyles, and she worked with him at his family restaurant, Lyles Restaurant. She was also a very popular waitress there and server due to her charismatic and charming personality. She was very popular amongst guests, and so she really helped the business thrive. Anjette had 2 children with Ben Lyles before he fell ill in 1951. He eventually had to sell his restaurant due to him not being healthy enough to run it, and it is said that he did this behind Anjette's back, which made her very angry. So eventually Ben Lyles was sick enough to be admitted to the hospital. The doctors at the hospital he was admitted to were uncertain of what was wrong with him, and eventually when he died, came to the conclusion that it must have been encephalitis that killed him. He died on January 25th, 1952. After his death, Anjette worked as a server and a waitress at surrounding restaurants until she had saved up enough money to buy back the restaurant that Ben had to sell. When she bought it, she renamed it Anjette's and soon gained popularity, just like she did before, as a popular diner, and also, again, due to her personality. Aside from her being very charismatic and charming, she's also said to be a very flirtatious person and would oftentimes flirt with customers, which could be seen as problematic amongst the community, especially when she was married, but that's just how Anjette was. Only a few years after Ben Lyles' death, she began dating again. It was a man named Joe Neal, and he was a pilot. They eloped on the 24th of June, 1955. After their marriage, I forgot to mention his name is Joe Neal Gabbert. Mr. Gabbert, her new husband, would soon after move into her house with her as husband and wife. Only a few months into their marriage, he was admitted to the hospital. Only a few months into their marriage, he was admitted to the hospital for a small wrist surgery. The day after that surgery, to the doctor's surprise, he was covered in a rash. Similar to her last husband's death, doctors were unable to tell what had caused the rash. He never recovered from it and eventually died. And he died in 1955 on the 2nd of December. What struck up a controversy in the community is that while Lyles was mourning, she was very eager to show up in court and receive her husband's life insurance. She also changed her last name from Gabbert to Lyles. Again, causing controversy in the community, she began dating again only a few months after her second husband's death. With the money she received from her late husband's life insurance, she bought a new house, and her first husband's mother moved in with them. She needed nursing, and Anjette Lyles was happy to provide that for her. One day, when Anjette was looking through her mother-in-law's belongings, she stumbled upon a bank book that revealed that her mother-in-law was incredibly wealthy. Soon after that, she tried to convince her to write a will, just in case, to which she did not want to write a will. She believed it brought bad luck upon the family, and she was like, that's kind of weird, I don't want to think about death, I don't want to write a will. And so Anjette was very frustrated by this. Again, similar to past few cases that have happened, Julia Lyles, which was her mother-in-law's name, fell ill and had to be admitted to the hospital. Anjette was also very eager to nurse her in the hospital. Unsurprisingly, her illness got worse, she wasn't able to recover, and she eventually died. Julia Lyles died in 1957 on September 29th. Doctors were also unable to find her cause of death. Yet again, only a week after Julia Lyles' death, Anjette showed up in court with a forged will of Julia Lyles that she claims that Julia wrote herself, essentially giving all of her belongings to Anjette Donovan Lyles, which went through, and she did receive Julia Lyles' belongings. In 1958, Anjette's own daughter, Marcia, became ill. This was when the community collectively became very suspicious of Anjette and wanted her to be investigated, considering how many people had fallen ill and died under her care. Just like the other deaths in the story, her daughter was put in the hospital and her illness only grew worse, where she eventually died. Marcia died on the 4th of April in 1958. At this point, people had become suspicious enough to the point where she had an autopsy to find the cause of her death. Arsenic was found in her system. Soon after that autopsy, both Anjette's past husbands and her mother-in-law were also given autopsies to which they found arsenic in all of their systems. Now that they essentially had proof that Anjette was killing her victims or her family members, they could perform a house search, and they found a lot of different kinds of poison, specifically arsenic, which was used on all of her victims. Anjette became very popular after her trial. She was arrested just in 1958 on May 6th. Rightfully so, she was charged with 4 counts of murder. After she was charged with 4 counts of murder, she spent the rest of her life in prison, where she eventually died at the age of 52 from heart failure. Regardless of her intentions being different from other serial killers, which did make this case more interesting, because she didn't have the motive of the most prolific serial killers. She had a very different motive, and her motive was just money, which she would go out of her way to kill people around her just to achieve that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can like or subscribe if you want, or do both. It's greatly appreciated, helps me make more content like this, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye.